Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here at Team Toyota of Princeton. Take a look at a brand new 2023 Toyota Crown. This is the Limited, and of course it's a hybrid. We previously did the Platinum Hybrid Max. Now we have the regular hybrid setup in the Limited trim. This color is called Heavy Metal. So we're going to check this thing out, see what it brings to the market, and see whether or not it's better to get this one than maybe going all the way up to Platinum Hybrid Max. So let's dig in. All right, the front end of this Crown here in heavy metal. We got the heavy metal with the black on the front grille, Toyota badge in the center, LED headlights, LED turn signals, LED daytime running lights, which you would expect in a Limited setup. I like the fact that there's no side air curtain fake vents. They have that all smoothed out in the heavy metal color with some aluminum trim down below. Makes it look really good. Makes it look pretty executive, and that's how I would classify this Crown, as a very executive looking car. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Wheel and tire setup on this Crown. We have a 19-inch wheel, gloss black with silver. Looks like golf tees with the way those silver accents go, or wine glasses, however you want to take that. But I think it's a pretty sharp looking design on the wheels. Then we have the Toyota badge in the center cap, standard brake and rotors. These 19-inch wheels are wrapped in Bridgestone Ectopia all-season tires. 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall, 19s, all four corners. Full side profile on this Crown Limited. Exactly the same looking car really that we saw on the Platinum trim, except we have the heavy metal color with the flat black around the wheel wells and on the door sills, and that gloss black on the bottom of the doors. Again, very executive looking. The wheels are nice and large, gives it a more muscular look, I would say. But still a very executive looking car. Let me know how you feel about the side profile on this Crown. All right, as we move in closer, we have the color match on the side view mirror with LED turn signals. No 360-degree cameras on this Limited trim. Color matched on the front and rear door handle. Up top, and excuse all the pollen, but it's pollen season, we have a color matched roof with the shark fin antenna and that large panoramic sunroof. All right, the rear end of the Crown, we have the LED lighting all over the back of the car, and I like the way those taillights go all the way across and end on either side at the Toyota badge. Looks pretty cool. Crown spelled out in the middle, all-wheel drive on the left, Limited on the right. Down below, flat black with some aluminum finish, and then of course we have our tailpipe tucked up underneath the vehicle. But a little bit different design here in the back of this one opposed to that Platinum Hybrid Max. Let me know if you like this kind of look better, or do you like that Platinum Hybrid Max look better on the back end of the Crown. All right, we're under the hood of this 2023 Crown Limited, and this is one of the biggest differences between this Limited Hybrid and that Platinum Hybrid Max. What we're looking at here is a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine with 3 hybrid electric motors, so it's all-wheel drive, just like all Crowns are. Engine only, I'm going to give you the engine only numbers. Engine only horsepower 184, engine only torque 163. Now if you add in the electric motors, the horsepower goes up to 236. This is mated to a 6-speed CVT, so a controlled variable transmission with 6 simulated gears, where the Platinum Hybrid Max has an actual 6-speed automatic transmission. So another big difference. However, the MPGs on this car are much better than the Hybrid Max. So we're looking at 42 in the city, 41 on the highway, and 41 combined with this Crown's hybrid setup. But we're sacrificing, obviously, power and torque, because the Hybrid Max engine was 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Now we're looking at 236 net horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque. You can run this engine on 87 octane or regular unleaded gas. So if you're looking for a Crown that is going to get you max MPGs, then the Limited may be the way you want to go. But if you're looking for a Crown with serious power and performance, as well as some pretty good gas mileage, you may want to look at the Hybrid Max Platinum. All right, before we get into the interior of this Crown Limited, you're going to want to know, Mike, how much does this cost? Well, MSRP for the Crown Limited trim before options, $45,550. Now we have to add in a few options. The premium paint, so for this heavy metal paint, you're going to pay an extra $425. Then we have the all-weather floor liners and cargo tray for an extra $309, and the door edge guards for an extra $150. You add in $1095 for destination and delivery, and your total MSRP on this Crown Limited is $47,529, which is a good bit less than we saw on that Platinum Hybrid, which was right around 55 grand. Let's check out the interior. All right, footbox action, a nice large dead pedal brake and accelerator. The carpeted floor mats are in the trunk right now. Now we have power seats with lumbar for the driver and front passenger, and then we have our black leather seats with the gold piping, looking good, nice headrests, nice bolstering, nice design on the seats, nice looking interior in this Crown Hybrid. Door panel action, we have some soft touch up top, then we have that chrome door handle, and we pretty much have this flat black plastic insert, which I'm not so sure I'm in love with. But down below we do have that gold piping on the flat black switchgear and a semi-soft armrest with some stitching. I'm just wondering if there should be some extra action in this insert around the door handle, because right now that's hard black plastic, and it seems odd to find that in a limited trim Crown. As we move over to the dash, soft touch up here, more of this gold trim and gold trim around the heat and air vents, which I think looks cool. And that gold trim extends all the way across the front of the dash, right underneath and then across to this side. So they've really done a nice job in lifting that up with that gold trim. And then we again have more of this strange black plastic. And then down below, we have a nice large glove box. All right, what we have in here, the same thing we saw in the Hybrid Max Crown, we have Toyota's 12.3-inch navigation system. Now, the navigation is over-the-air updates to maps and over-the-air updates to the navigation systems and infotainment system software, which means you need to subscribe with your name, email, that kind of thing, to set up the nav. Now, I'm not going to do that because this car is on the floor for sale and I don't want to put my personal information in here to get the nav to work. So I can't show you that. But this does have wireless Apple CarPlay with Android Auto compatibility. That's what it says on the window sticker. Whenever I see Android Auto compatibility, I have to assume it is wired Android Auto and not wireless, or else why wouldn't they just put on wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto on the window sticker? But if you know if this Android Auto is wireless, please let me know in the comments. Then we can do our music, pair our phone, we can go to our settings, we can set up the car however we would like. We have our Wi-Fi hotspot and all that good jazz. So they have a lot of nice features in here, but unfortunately I can't show you that, that nav. But we go to reverse for the reverse camera, and it's nice and clear with trajectory, and you got a nice large display so you can see very easily, so I like that. So we'll put this back into park. Looking good. Down below you have your volume control knob, and then you have your four-way hazards, 2 heat and air vents. We have 3-stage heated seats, 3-stage heated seats and 3-stage ventilated seats for the driver and front passenger. And the interesting thing is, I'm going to have to knock this up. This thing is set on low. There we go. The interesting thing is these things are tied in to your settings for your heat and air on your dual zone climate control. So if you have this set and the air conditioning is on, when you hit the heat button, the ventilation is going to go on first because the car thinks, hey, if you have the air conditioning on, you must want ventilated seats. So that's an interesting touch. It might take some getting used to if you're used to some older controls. But again, 3-stage heated seats, 3-stage ventilated seats, driver, front passenger, with your heated steering wheel in the center. So I like the setup. I like the hard switches, and the switches all feel very positive when you push them in and out. So really nice quality on those switches. Down below here, you have a vertically mounted wireless charging pad. And then here you have a couple of USB-Cs and more storage. We have 2 cup holders, and your Toyota key fob is right here. Pretty plain Jane key fob. Lock, unlock, pop the trunk, panic button, Toyota badge down below, and it says Toyota Crown on the back. Now, as we get into this action, here is the gear shift to go through the 6 simulated gears in this CVT. Now, in order to put it into gear, you have to move it, obviously foot on the brake first, move it to the left. And if you want reverse, you move it upwards. And if you want it to drive, you move it down 2, because neutral's in the middle. And if you want it back into park, you push the P. So that's a little interesting there. Drive mode action, which we'll show you when we go through the dash. Traction control off, parking brake, auto vehicle hold, EV mode only. So you can drive this in EV mode only if you wish. And then we have a nice soft center armrest. We open that up, and we have a nice area for storage with a 12 volt and another USB. Toyota steering wheel, nice leather wrap steering wheel, nice 10 and 2 notches, Toyota badge in the middle, some brushed aluminum trim here to lift it up a little bit, but it is a bit plain for a Crown Limited, I'd have to say. And the other thing is the steering wheel sits really low. And I have the seat, the driver's seat, set all the way to its lowest setting, as low as it can go. And I have the steering wheel set as high as it can go. But when I try to get in and out of the car, my legs hit the steering wheel, and it's a real pain in the neck to get in and out of this. So I would recommend Toyota consider a flat bottom wheel in this vehicle if they can't raise this manual tilting and telescoping wheel any higher. So for a guy like me at 5'11", if I have my seat all the way down into its lowest setting and this in its highest, I should be able to get my legs out without hitting the steering wheel and banging my knee. So I would highly recommend Toyota consider a flat bottom wheel for ease of entrance and exit of the driver's cockpit. On the left side, we have our telephone and voice commands and our pad to go through the digital dash. And then on the right, we have our adaptive cruise control, safety suite controls, and then modes for your infotainment system. On the left side here, we have our headlight controls and our windshield wiper controls on the right. Over on the side here, we have our adaptive high beams, windshield wiper deicer. We have our trip odometer, and brighten and dim the dash here. And then down below, pop the trunk and pop the fuel filler door. And way down below is where you release the hood. As we come into our 12.3-inch digital dash, love how it looks, nice and easy to read everything. And then, of course, instead of attack, you have your power, charge, or eco, since we got hybrid action going with the CVT. But we hit the drive mode action, and everything changes. So now we're in sport. I'm not sure how sporty this car could be with this engine setup, and it's not really designed to be sporty. And then we have normal, and then everything changes. And then we have eco, and everything goes green. And I think we're going to run this on eco today to see what kind of mileage we can get on our test drive, and see if we can even get anywhere near what we saw on the Prius. I doubt it, because this is a much bigger car. But it would be nice to see how good a gas mileage you can get on a fairly large executive sedan that's replaced the Avalon. So it'll be interesting to see on the drive today. But you can also move through other information on the screen as well and get all sorts of different information. Driver door panel action. We have 2 memory seat settings, as I would expect in a Crown Limited. And then, using this button right here, we have our power fold mirror action. Again, Nice feature, as I would expect on a limited trim. Overhead console action, we have LED dome lighting in this hybrid action. And so if you want that dome lighting to come on and off when you open and close the door, this button that says door has to remain pressed in. And then when you open the door, your lighting will come on. When you close the door, that lighting will dim out. We also have our shade and whatnot for our panoramic, or excuse me, not panoramic. It's not a panoramic roof. It's a glass roof. So we open it up, one touch, and it goes all the way back. But it is a dual panel glass roof. And then if you want to close it, it's one touch back. The glass doesn't open, but it is one of those all glass roofs. All right, getting in the back seat of this Crown, I have the driver's seat set for my driving position, and we're going to hop on in. Oh, a lot of room for my knees and for my head and for my shoulders at 5'11" in the back of this Crown. Really nice. We got the leather seats all the way down, no plastic, with a seat pocket behind each front seat. And then in the back, we have 2 heat and air vents, 2 USB-Cs for connectivity. And then over here on this back door panel, same action as the front. You got the JBL sound system speakers in here, so you got the upgraded sound, but the same materials, the same chrome trim, and the door armrest, all looking the same. Here's your front door panel, and now here is the rear door panel. Looking good. I like the way they keep the vibe. Back seats, same action, same leather, same gold piping, nice and soft, nice design on the rear seats. And then our center armrest, very soft. Open this up, 2 cup holders. Also in the back of this Crown, we have heated seats for both rear passengers, and that's one stage on and off. But that's a nice touch here in the back of this Crown Limited. So in the back here of the Crown, it's a really nice and comfortable place to be. All right, getting in the trunk of this Crown, I popped the trunk from the front dash, or you can do it from your key fob. You can come to the back. Once it's popped, you can just lift it on up. And a nice large trunk space for a lot of nice items. Here is the all-weather cargo mat that says Toyota Crown on it. Underneath here, you can lift this up. And we have a nice spare tire with some tools. So thank you, Toyota, for including that spare. The carpeted floor mats were still in the box, and those are inside the dealership right now. But a nice area for storage here in the back, a nice big trunk. And you can also lower those seats by pulling these levers on either side. And then you can come around and pull the seats down on either side. And now you have a lot more room, even though there's a kick up and a more narrow space. But if you got some longer items, you can fit them in this Crown. So good use of space here in the back by Toyota. All right, the Toyota window sticker, here it is. We'll zoom on in, give you an idea of all the action that is in this standard equipment and your optional equipment and your total MSRP. So now, let's take her out for a spin. All right, we are driving this 2023 Toyota Crown Limited Hybrid Action. And we've driven it a little bit before I turn the camera on. Very smooth, very well put together. Feels really solid in here when you close the door. Fit and finish on the interior is really, really good. Handling, very tight. You point the vehicle where you want it to go and it goes. Now, I'm not getting much feedback, but they really have the steering in a nice, tight fashion, and I like that. No real play in the wheel at all. Now, we have this hybrid action. We have it set in Eco for the drive to see what kind of gas mileage we're going to get in this beauty. But it's a completely different car than the Hybrid Max. You know, the Hybrid Max has that big horsepower, 340, big torque, 400 in this Crown. And that's going to perform much differently. And it's going to give you a much more exhilarating feeling when you accelerate and all that jazz. Now we have the standard hybrid setup. We have much less horsepower, much less torque. But we're going to be maximizing MPGs. And that's what this is for. So if you're in the market for a large sedan, and by today's standards, the Crown is a large sedan. So I'm going to say full-size sedan, hybrid, that gets some serious mileage, gas mileage, then maybe you want to look at this Crown, because you're also going to get all-wheel drive, which is a nice touch as well. So now Toyota has three very compelling offerings in this hybrid car segment. They have the Prius, all new, redesigned for 2023, making big MPGs, right? Then, but if that's too small, then you have the Camry hybrid, now a bit older design, but you have the Camry hybrid in a mid-size sedan, which is going to get you similar gas mileage than this Crown. Or you can go with this Crown if you need more room and you want a larger sedan, a more executive looking sedan, I would say. And you can get similar gas mileage to the Camry hybrid. And this is an all-new vehicle with all-new technology for 2023, where the Camry's a bit older. So there's a lot of different options in the Toyota lineup for this vehicle. And I like the Crown a lot. I liked the Platinum that I drove, and I certainly am enjoying this Crown Limited hybrid. Now, you have the CVT with the 6 simulated gears. With those gears, it keeps the engine revs down, and so you're going to get a much more quieter ride than a standard CVT would give you. And the engine provides plenty of horsepower to get this car up and running, but it's not going to set any fires at all. I think the estimated 0 to 60 in this is like 7.5 seconds, where, you know, the Platinum Hybrid Max is like under, I think it's like 5.6 or 5.7. So it's a big difference, but it is a large vehicle. The suspension really well damped, no issues there. And now we're going to try an emergency stop in 3, 2, 1. Look at that, piece of cake, nice and linear, no pulling the wheel. And now gently take off, because we're hypermiling. We're hypermiling today, so we're not going to slam it down and do a 0 to 60 test. There's no action like that today. We're just taking a nice easy country drive here in the Limited to see what kind of MPGs we can get on just a nice around town drive. Looking good, feeling good, nice and comfortable. The air conditioning's on, making me feel good. Now we're going to take off easy and just back down the road, nice and easy, nice and smooth. Really well done here by Toyota in this Crown Hybrid, trying to give you max vehicle space in this full-size sedan, plus trying to give you some really good gas mileage to stretch those gas dollars, as gas now, as the summertime approaches, is going to start going up in price on all grades. So that's something to think about as well. But nice ride, really well damped suspension, if I haven't mentioned that, and really tight steering in this Crown. They did a really nice job with this all new Crown, without a doubt. Takes that curve really nice. Didn't even have to get on the brakes there. Taking that curve at about 39, 40 miles an hour, whatever it was. I wasn't looking, but it felt about that way. So really nice, easy drive. And that's what this is all about, is getting those MPGs hypered up. So, what do you guys think about the Crown in general? Crown Limited, Are we getting enough stuff in the Limited? I think it's got a pretty good setup. So we have heated and ventilated up front, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, dual climate action, wireless charging, everything you really need they got in here. The one thing I find interesting and kind of weird is that these LED screens, the digital screens, 12.3-inch dash, 12.3-inch infotainment system, are very sensitive to light. And whenever the sun is kind of like in a different place, for some reason it thinks that it is getting dark out and it goes to night mode, and then it pops right back out again to day mode. And I think that's why a few times on this drive you've seen them dim way down and probably go off camera and then brighten back up again. And I've noticed that on this car. I noticed that on the Hybrid Max we drove. I noticed that on the Prius, the BRZ. Just about every one of these Toyotas with this new setup, I've noticed how sensitive this is to changes in light, which I think maybe Toyota wants to tone down the sensitivity a bit. So as we come around the turn here on our hypermiling adventure in this Crown today, so I asked you guys earlier, what do you think about this? Is the Crown the way you would go if you're looking at a Toyota hybrid? Or do you really need those max MPGs and go Prius? Do you need more room and you don't worry about an older Camry hybrid? Or does this all new Crown trip your trigger and this is the way you would want to go? Let me know what you think in the comments. Or are you thinking about going somewhere else with your hard-earned dollars and buying a different brand of car that has a hybrid that you may like better than this? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I really like the Crown. Now, I haven't driven the Camry hybrid yet, but I've driven two Camrys, and it's a bit older design, and I like the Camry, especially the V6 Camry. I really like the Prius. I love the exterior, but I didn't like that BRZ, or what is that? Not BRZ, BZ4X setup with your dash looking more like a head-up display and the wheel so far away. Made me feel like I was in a BZ4X and not a Prius, which I really didn't like all that much. Let me know how you guys feel about that. But this is set up like a regular car. And I just love these digital displays. I think they look great. I just wish they weren't so sensitive to the light and keep dimming out and opening up again. But that's just me. Okay, so right now we're coming up to the highway, and it wouldn't be a fair gas mileage test drive if we didn't have a little highway driving in the Crown Limited. So we're gonna head up on the highway. I'm gonna try not to lay on the brakes too much going through these turns, try to keep the gas mileage up. And it did handle well here. We'll go into an S curve on this ramp before we hit the highway. Again, you've seen these dash dim down now because the sun's behind us. And now we're going to have to hit it a little bit to get it up on the highway. And it merged, piece of cake, just fine, no issues. And now here we are back up on the highway. We'll get it up to highway speed here. And here we are now at 65 miles an hour. I got great visibility out the front, side glass and rear glass. I got all the technology in here, blind spot monitoring, cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, all that jazz is in this Crown, so you don't have to worry about any of that action. They got you covered with technology. My blind spot monitor is going off now, telling me a car's coming back. Really good sound deadening in here. I'm not getting a lot of wind noise. Can hear some cars outside. Road noise, not much at all. Nice job there. And now we are up on our highway speed, looking good. So I'm going to wrap this Crown review up right here. What I will do after I sign off from the drive, I will post a picture of the dash with the amount of miles we've driven, how long it took us, and what our average MPG was in eco mode on this drive, so you can get a flavor for what we did overall, because I'm not going to film the whole drive. But So therefore, I'm going to sign off from the drive now. I want to thank Team Toyota of Princeton for allowing the channel access to this brand new 2023 Toyota Crown Limited Hybrid all-wheel drive for review today. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please also consider subscribing and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another Shabby's Rides video. And I'll see all of you on the rebound. Take care, everyone.